Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. It's the Entrepreneurs here, and today what we'll be doing is we'll be continuing our Investing with Max series. If you guys have not watched the previous video, I highly suggest you guys go watch that now. As a disclaimer, this is just for educational purposes only, and if you're looking for financial advice, I highly suggest you seek out a registered financial advisor. If that makes sense, let's get started. All right, I'm just gonna share my screen here as per usual. Okay, make myself bigger. I don't know if that's too big, but that should be good. So yeah, what we'll be doing today is we'll look at RIP Capital, then we'll look at Lifeis, we'll look at Weed, PLGV, and ACB. So we'll look at the cannabis stocks, right? Because that's what we're targeting and aiming for. And that's our industry. So as you can see here, RIP Capital, it had a pretty big spike on April 30th because there was a big news there, and I'll quickly show you that later on. But it's been very volatile. As you can see here, that it's been hitting the different high, low, lower high, higher low. So basically it's like if we go to March 29th, right, you can see it was a green day. Then after that, on the 30th, you know, look at this volume. The volume for this day was 158, and the day before that was only 32K. And basically what happened with this one here is there was this big news. So I'll go to ceo.ca, and as you can see on March 2022, March 30th, 2022, RIP Capital to acquire New York-based Etain, named new CEO to lead entry and expansion in US cannabis market. So this was a big news that basically catalyzed the stocks to go up like that. And we need news like that because if you do, then you'll see the stock go up like drastically. So yeah, just a quick overview. You can see here, transformative transaction will include one of the 10 verticals integrated license in New York and 4 active dispensary with plan to bolster the operation in advance of adult use market. And they were saying that the Hawthorne Collective to advance an additional 25 million for RIP Capital concurrently with the transaction, depending on the relationship adding to RIP Capital balance sheet. So basically, this company is injecting more money to RIP Capital, right, to support this decision. So RIP Capital will acquire ownership and control of Etain companies for approximately 247 million, payable through a combination of cash and newly issued Class A common shares of RIP Capital, subject to, among other things, receipts of all required regulatory and New York cannabis control, blah, blah, blah. And I think they also mentioned here the share structure, like how much they're going to give out. And let me just quickly go over this. Board of Director, Mark Sim, CEO. Okay, yep. On behalf of the board, pending Etain, RIP Capital, I am excited. And where was that? Just Etain. Here you go, transaction terms. So basically the value of the 26 million, right, RIP Capital shares that will be issued is based on the 5-day volume weighted average price of such shares on the Canadian Security Exchange as of the last trading day prior to today's announcement. The acquisition is structured to close in 2 stages. The initial closing is expected to occur in the second calendar quarter of 2022 and subject to receipt of the relevant approval by the New York state regulators. The final closing is expected to occur in the second half of 2022. So they're saying approximately 80% of the purchase price will be payable upon the initial closing, with the remainder payable upon the financial closing. Following closing is the former owner of Etain are expected to hold approximately 16% of the issued and outstanding Class A common shares of RIP Capital. So I could see that, you know, there was a lot of volume here because of that. And also, if you think about this, the Class A common share, so this might dilute the shareholder shares for that. But I mean, you know, where they're heading is they really want to provide value with the shareholder, right? So that's why they're injecting a bunch of cash to RIP Capital to bring this transaction into fruition, right? So, and if you just read on that, there's just about more of what the deal is all about. And also they talked about the transitioning of the existing CEO, which was Alexander Nerb. He's moving to a new opportunity, and basically somebody from the what is it called, Scott's Miracle Grow, one of their directors is coming in and gonna be leading the company now. So could be good, could be bad, but the way the market reacted, you know, it was really good. If you look at Rib Capital, and I go to the charting, right? So in early morning, you know, a lot of hype, meaning a lot of people were for the news, and you can see here that 158 volume, and after that, you know, it opened at, let's see here, so the high was $1.87, so it closed at $1.56, and it opened at I can't see what was, so right here opened at $1.87, so lots of hype at the early morning, then basically it just dwindled down, right? And the next day it was also a red day on March 31st, and this one here was a open of $1.66, then a high of $1.66, so it just basically just became a lower high, and after that the low of $1.42, then it closed at $1.45. So big jump from here to there, and after that you can see the, you know, the different support and resistance that it basically broke. So from here it broke the support and resistance of, if I go to the right here, so it broke the support. So let's go here first, March 29th. So this is the support and resistance, $1.59, so $1.60 to $1.70, $1.69, right? So once it broke that, it did spike to a new support and resistance from 170 all the way to 180 to 187, 188. Then after that, because that was the open, right? Then it basically went down, and it was just hovering and trying to go to the different support resistance. Then at the end, it was at $1.56, so it closed at $1.56. So you can definitely tell that the support resistance is from here to here. Then the next day, you know, is still in a downtrend where it basically opened at $1.66, right? So it's still in this range. Then it closed at $1.45, where it now is in a new support and resistance from $1.59 to $1.55, then all the way to $1.50 to $1. So if I go here, I'm just gonna make myself a little bit smaller, to $1.40 to $1.40 is the new support resistance from this area here, right? Then ever since then, it just kept on, you know, trying to maintain the support and resistance, and it went to, you know, on April 1st, and this April 1st there was that's why it's a green day, because there was a news where they were talking about this looks killer cannabis bill just passed the House. Rib has a lot of exposure to the US market, right? So that's why on April 1st it became, you know, a little bit green. Then it did try to maintain that support and resistance, but ever since then, you know, the hype disappeared, and also you can see the volume started to dwindle. So from here, it had March 1st, it only had 20K of trading volume. On 4th, it had 10K. On the 5th, you know, it did pretty well for the volume, so 93. Then after that started going down again. So just remember that the volume will move the price up or down, right? The more volume it is, and if there's a big news or a news that is newsworthy, then it might bring the stock up, meaning, you know, positive news, right? So that's for Rib Capital. So we're still waiting on it, and as you can see here, there's a lot of, you know, trading happening here, like basically not trading, but the insiders. You can see on the first common share, right, acquisition or this position in the public market, so 26K for Joseph on the 31st. Then after that, you can see Richard, 59K rights exercise for the shares. And also you can see Joseph, Asha, same thing. And you can see Gary V on the 5th, rights and restricted shares unit, grant of rights, 42K. So Gary V is actually investing in this company too. So hopefully the marketing that he has, that he established in his network, can help the stock go up. Right now it's taking a big beating from, you know, its all-time high, which was like $11 to like $1.40 right now. It's pretty bad, right? Then basically, if you go to LifeIs, that's what I'm gonna move on. It's pretty, it's still in a downtrend, and you can see here on the March. Okay, so it did have its earnings and revenue, reporting a 6.224, and ending on November 2021, 21st, March 25th, 2022, or so November 2021 to March 2022, March 25th, 2022. So for LifeIs, it's just hovering on that support, right? So what we want to see is we want to see the volume go up again. Right now it's not trading as much, so the last trading volume was at 65K, so that's not, you know, newsworthy, or that's nothing. And basically we'll see some news there, because if I go to LifeIs, there's not much going on. If I go here, let's go LifeIs, right? Spent a couple of hours this weekend looking for their financials, and only LifeIs has some shareholders that cannot keep their pants tight. In my opinion, that's all crap, no relationship. If profit, then someone profit from the bleeding stock. Then please elaborate, blah, 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 blah. So just people just smack talking and all that stuff. Not much going on, but let's move over to weed. And weed, the same thing, right? You can see that it did have a pretty good uptrend from March 15th. You can see three or four green days, and this one here on March 18th, it had 12.94 million volumes, and it went all the way up to 8.65 million volume on the 25th, right? So from here, so it was trading at, you know, let's say it was open at $7.42. Then here the high was around $10.95, so almost $11. So that was a pretty big gap there, but eventually it's now pulling back a little bit, and it's hitting the same support and resistance when it was on March 15th. So you can see the support and resistance here was $8.45, $8.92, almost around $9, right? 901, and here $7.20. So it's just going to that support and resistance. What I want to see though is in the next few weeks or months that, you know, maybe we'll get more information about what's going to happen in the US market in terms of the legalization of it. I know that it did pass the House, but what's next, right? Because I'm looking at weed stocks, and you can see some of the articles that are popping up there, and some of them are bad news, some of them are good news, but majority of them are currently bad. So BLGB, this one, basically it hit a new support and resistance. As you can see here, that now it's at 11.5. The new support and resistance is at around $13. So it's been also in a downtrend, and it's pretty much bleeding the stocks. So not much we can do in this one, but just to wait. For ACB, kind of the same pattern as weed. So you can see that there, like it goes up, then now it's going down a little bit, right? It's hitting a new support and resistance. For ACB, the same thing. It's kind of same pattern where, you know, March around 15, it started going up. Volume was crazy. So the volume for this one was 594. 3 million on this one. Then after that, now it's just dwindling back. It's going down, you can see here. Then also the stocks has been pulling back and going to a new support and resistance. So around 375 to $4.40, right? And what I also wanted to mention is if they go to weed stocks, and basically you just join this group on the Reddit, and it's a subreddit. And from here, what you could do is you can look at, so I clicked on this already, Seth Rogen on his spot business. Most people can incorporate weed into their lives. And basically if you open this, so he has a company that he started with his buddy called Houseplant in 2019. So yeah, if you go through this, he's, you know, talks about he smokes a lot of weed and all that stuff. He collected different ashtrays in the past, and yeah, it's pretty good. So if you have time, definitely read this. So it's pretty sweet. And also, yeah, what I wanted to mention too, you can see Biden's delicate dance on weed is getting clumsy. So for some reason, my intuition is telling me that Biden doesn't want to legalize weed federally, right? Because if just the past history and stuff like that with his son, he's very against marijuana, I think. But yeah, you have to, if you want to read up on that, yeah, check it out. But you can see here, Senate Connern, I think that's how you say it. I'm convinced pot is harmful. It's premature to legalize it. So you can see that you know, he's against it and it's premature. So it's a negative connotation. And you can see tobacco is legal and this guy is saying weed is harmful. So you can see if this guy, cigarette and alcohol health kicks, blah, 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 right? So if I go down, you can see 5 huge economic impact if cannabis is federally legalized, federally legal. Oh, this one's good, right? 90% of Pennsylvania agrees, let's make marijuana legal. So 90% want to vote for MJ. And you can see here, Flashpoint interview Detroit industry leader discuss the future. So yeah, I'm just going down this, and some of them are good news. Like you can see here, Montana marijuana sales total 73 million so far this year. So think about that. Just this year, 73 million already. And yeah, so basically that's what's happening right now. Lots of uncertainty in the market. So that's why we're not seeing the hype or the bullish trend that we're looking for. Because last year, you know, around this time, it was very bullish, but now it's like slowing. And 420 is coming up, April 20th. So we'll see if that's going to do anything. But in the meantime, we just got to keep hustling, keep watching to see what the market is doing and hope for the best, right? And yeah, what I'll show you too is I'll show you my portfolio as per usual. And you can see here that, you know, basically negative 10,000 and almost $500, right? So almost 70%. And majority of that is because of LIFEs. So you can see here that I'm down almost 67%. So 3,185 is the current value. You can see Rev Capital is still up 21%, almost 22%, $218.85. So we'll see what happens in the next few weeks and next months, and let me know if you want me to look at different stocks. But in the meantime, I'm focused in the cannabis space, and I'm hoping for a big news that comes up. Anything that will drive a catalyst to it will potentially get more investors into the market, especially for this industry. If not, then the stock is probably gonna keep going down and down. But that's just a quick update of the marijuana stocks that I have and, you know, the industry. So if you have any questions, comment down below and let me know if you have any questions, right? So see you soon. See you in the next video. Take care. Bye.